Hi everyone, I'm Kristina Wong, and thank you for watching Wong Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. This is the DVD extra. So I've gotten to tour Wong Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest the last for 5 years. It's brought me everywhere from Alaska, Oklahoma, Texas, places where there are huge Asian populations and places where there are barely any Asian Americans. And I think it does speak to the universality of this issue of depression and suicide, is that it unfortunately affects all communities. I have audience members who come up during the post show, and they are men, they're women, they're white, they're black. I mean, I really have, not to toot my own horn, but tooting my own horn, like there is an amazing cross section of people who come to my audiences, and they tell me it's because they are interested in looking at this topic as explored through humor. So I've been touring the show for 5 years, and it's been a huge part of my livelihood as a working and thriving artist. And, I don't even realize it sometimes, but saying Asian American women have the highest rates of depression and suicide, it is one of these, it just rolls off my tongue, sometimes almost with no emotion, because I'm just so used to talking about my show, saying it in the show, saying it after the show. And what I didn't realize was happening in the last few years of touring the show and saying that phrase over and over and over again was it was beginning to grate on me that I needed to move on from making a show that was about depression and suicide. And I began to worry that, am I only going to have a career if I tackle the most horrific of human topics? I mean, and it was just really kind of, it became its own dilemma. Like, what do I move on to? And I became depressed. Like, actually, the show had helped me get through, a lot of unresolved childhood depression, and then suddenly I found myself depressed because I was doing the show. So my new show is called Cat Lady. It's about my cat. But it's not, as all Kristina Wong shows go, it started to be a show about my cat and his spraying problems, but it ended up becoming about the existential crisis I was having touring Wong Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And it was a lot about that loneliness. It was a lot about my loneliness of being in classrooms, and someone had just committed suicide on that campus the semester before, and I had to, speak from a certain truth, and yet I couldn't take it either. I'd find myself crying in front of students because it just, the temperature in that room is just so intense. And it's looking at the idea that I was a performer with the same script, doing the same script night after night, same show, same ending, and yet in my real life I was losing track of who I was because in Cuckoo's Nest, right, I play a show named because in Wong Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, I play a character named Kristina Wong. And so that becomes really confusing off stage who I am anymore, because I think, people would talk to me as if I was still the character after the show. So I was interested in this idea that I was becoming a character from one of my plays, and I was interested in looking at male pickup artists, who are these guys who also use scripts, who use a lot of kind of theatrical technique to become characters in the real world so they can pick up on women. And in the sense that we're all living in this existential crisis, that we're doing the same script night after night, we're feigning this human connection with people, and we in ways are sort of tricking them into thinking that we're someone who we're not. And that is the only way we understand how to get close to people, because after a while I wasn't actually sure how I was supposed to have a healthy relationship. The other show I'm working on and touring is called Going Green the Wong Way. When I first started Wong Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, I've got my show title straight, I purchased a pink Mercedes-Benz that ran on vegetable oil. I'm a very eco-minded kind of girl, and I thought, well, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and not support a war because of oil, and I'm going to run a car on vegetable oil. Well, in short, it was a huge nightmare. The car cost me thousands in repairs. I would go off on tour, I'd come back and the car wouldn't start. And I spent most of my time in LA trying to take care of this car. Finally, the car caught on fire. And I have a whole history in my life of trying to champion the green movement and it not quite working for me. So I actually have been carless for about 3 years. And it has its ups and it has a lot of downs. But it makes for great show material, and it has nothing to do with depression and suicide. So I'm happy to to have moved on to another show topic.